Beyond the Hype, a fashion lifestyle tech podcast. Presented by Stephanie Williams and Greg Lewis.
All right, diving into some pretty interesting waters today, we're going to be looking at the whole world of politics and cryptocurrency. And specifically some accusations around former President Trump, potential conflicts of interest, that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's definitely a fascinating case study. I mean, we're in a really unprecedented situation here. This is a former U.S. president who launched his own Memecoin, while he's still involved in enacting policies that directly affect the crypto market.
And our main source for this deep dive, an article called Trump's Crypto Circus, a conflict of interest nightmare, really doesn't hold back. Really digs into some serious questions about whether Trump might be leveraging his position for personal gain in the crypto world.
It's interesting, thinking about how this whole situation compares with what's normal in other parts of the world. We have Joshua Chu, who is a Web3 expert based in Hong Kong, and he says these actions wouldn't even be considered in Asia-Pacific political circles. Seems like a very U.S. thing, doesn't it?
Almost as if there's a completely different set of rules. And when you start factoring in the potential legal stuff, it gets really complex. Charlene Ho, a U.S. legal expert, she's quoted in the article, and she puts it pretty bluntly. She says, Trump has the power to direct crypto policy. If he has a personal pecuniary benefit arising from his own policies, that's a conflict of interest.
Which then makes you wonder about, could this be considered an abuse of power? It's a big concern, right? A president, even a former one, using their influence to maybe manipulate the market for their own profit.
Especially with some of the timing of everything. I mean, like shortly after Trump announced his return to politics, his Memecoin, it surged into the top 15 cryptocurrencies worldwide. Seems like the market was reacting directly to his moves politically.
Yeah. And it's not even just the meme coin. The article also goes into some financial dealings that are potentially, problematic with this firm, WLFI, that's linked to the Trump family. And reportedly, they bought $2 million worth of MEE tokens, which is a specific type of cryptocurrency. And this was around the same time that rumors started that Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency was looking into blockchain solutions.
So for people who aren't as familiar, AWF tokens, they operate on a blockchain that, really focuses on speed and efficiency, so they can be relevant to any government project that use blockchain technology.
Exactly. And even though there's no direct evidence that anything wrong happened, the fact that a firm linked to Trump made this purchase at that particular time definitely raises questions about potential insider trading. It at least creates the appearance of using information for personal gain.
That's a pretty serious accusation. If that were proven, it would be, a clear violation of public trust, and it could have legal consequences.
For sure. And Charlene Ho, again, she emphasizes that a president's role is to serve the people, not their own financial interests. This case really highlights those responsibilities.
The article then goes into a seemingly unrelated event, which is Trump's pardon of Ross Ulbricht, who was the founder of the Silk Road online marketplace. So at first, this seems totally disconnected from everything we've been talking about. But there are some interesting connections there.
So the pardon itself, as Joshua Chu makes clear, it's about criminal liability. It doesn't mean that seized assets have to be returned. But with Ulbricht's conviction, millions in crypto assets were seized. And it does make you wonder about how those assets are going to be handled, especially considering that Trump's personally involved in the crypto world.
So the pardon might not directly impact the assets that were seized, but it does create, a precedent, a legal framework that could potentially be taken advantage of. Is it possible that this pardon could be a way to try to influence how seized crypto assets are dealt with in the future, especially if those assets are somehow related to Trump?
I think that's the big question, isn't it? The world of cryptocurrency is still new. The rules are always changing. So yeah, I think it's something that needs more attention and investigation.
Feels like we're peeling back the layers of an onion here. Every layer we go deeper, the more complex it gets, the more troubling the implications become.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. All these individual things, the meme coin, buying those movie tokens, the Silk Road pardon, each one on its own has these ethical and legal questions surrounding it. But when you put them all together, it starts to look like a much bigger, more unsettling pattern,
It does seem to be painting a picture of potential conflicts of interest. Maybe insider trading, possibly even trying to manipulate the system for personal gain. And it all goes back to this world of cryptocurrency, which is still so new and often pretty unpredictable.
And what's really worrying is that this could damage people's trust, not just in our political institutions, but in the whole idea of cryptocurrency. If it looks like even former presidents are manipulating the market to make money, that's bad for everyone involved.
But wouldn't the campaign finance laws we already have prevent that kind of foreign influence that we talked about earlier? Could meme coins really be used to get around those rules that easily?
That's a great question, and it's an important one. See, those campaign finance laws are meant to control how money comes into politics. But cryptocurrencies are different. They're decentralized, often anonymous. So it creates this whole new challenge. Yeah, it is possible that meme coins could be used to funnel money into US politics, especially if they're backed by someone with a lot of political power. And that money would be really hard to track, and even harder to regulate.
That's kind of a scary thought. We're talking about a way for people outside the US to influence our elections without anyone knowing. Sounds like the rules and regulations are having trouble keeping up with how fast the world of crypto is changing.
Exactly. And this whole situation shows how badly we need more transparency and better rules in the crypto space. If we don't have clear rules and ways to hold people accountable, there's going to be a lot of abuse.
You know, the article even compares what Trump's doing to a pump and dump scheme, but like on a national scale. That's a pretty big accusation.
Yeah, it's a strong statement for sure. But the concerns about manipulating the market are real. Think about it. Trump has a huge following. He can influence what people think. And when he launches a meme coin and then makes policies that could affect how much it's worth, that's a recipe for exploitation.
Almost like he's taking advantage of how speculative the crypto market is.
Yeah.
People see Trump involved. They see the chance to make a quick buck, and they jump in without even thinking about the risks.
That's exactly it. And because people don't really understand it, and because the crypto market is so volatile, it's so easy to manipulate. And that can lead to disaster, especially for people who are new to crypto. They don't even know about the risks they're taking.
This whole thing, it really feels like a warning, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About how things can go wrong when you mix politics and cryptocurrency.
It definitely shows that we need to be careful and skeptical. You can't just assume that people in power, even if they're former presidents, are going to do the right thing, especially when it comes to money. Especially in a place like the crypto world, where there are so few rules and so much is hidden.
Like the ways we used to hold people accountable haven't caught up to how fast technology's moving. And that leaves a lot of space for people to take advantage.
Yeah, exactly. Our laws and ethics, they're still trying to figure out how cryptocurrency even works. And this case shows us that the potential for conflicts of interest and manipulating the market is huge.
It makes you wonder if this is just the beginning. Are there other politicians out there using their power to make money off crypto that we haven't even found yet?
That's a good question, and it's one we're thinking about. What we're seeing with Trump, this could be a sign of what's to come. A look into a future where politics and cryptocurrency get mixed up in all sorts of corruption and exploitation.
So what can we do about it? As regular people, I mean. Is there anything we could do to make sure technology is used for good, especially when it comes to people in power?
Well, I think the first thing is to know what's going on. We have to educate ourselves about cryptocurrency, how it works, the ways it can be abused, why transparency and accountability are so important. And we have to demand more from our leaders. Watch what they do in this space and hold them responsible.
That's a really good point. We can't just wait for someone else to fix it. It's up to all of us to be informed, to pay attention, and to speak up.
Absolutely. If we want our democracy to survive, if we want technology to develop in a good way, we have to do this. Technology should be used to give power to people, not to make a few people rich at everyone else's expense.
This has been a really eye-opening deep dive. We've covered so much, looked at some really complicated things, and hopefully we've got people thinking about some important questions.
It's been great talking about this with you, and to everyone listening, I encourage you to keep learning about this, stay informed, and stay involved. The future of cryptocurrency and what it means for our society is still being decided.
That's great advice. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Until next time, everyone, keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep working towards a better future.
Beyond the Hype, a fashion lifestyle tech podcast.